by the water.
Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe, and welcome to the show, y'all. I want to tell you about this brother that every time he would get on the phone, y'all. I'm talking about every time he would get on the phone, he would talk crazy to his parents. Talk crazy to them. Calling them all kind of no good MFs and B's and H's and all this. And it used to bother me. It used to bother me to no ends. And I'm like, why do you even call them, man? Why do you even call them and talk to them and disrespect them like it? But he never would tell me. But I would notice when he'd be on the phone with other people, whether it be his auntie, sister, anybody like that, he's talking to them like he's got some sense. Talking about, how he love them and miss them and wish he was home and able to, go to the park with him and do all of these different types of things that families do. You know what I'm saying? And just being there, right? Loved his auntie to death. You know what I'm saying? He said his auntie was more like a mother to him than his own mother. And I'm like, man, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand none of that, right? So as time went on, I got to know this young brother. And he started to confide in me. He was a stick-up kid, a robber, out there terrorizing the streets, terrorizing the neighborhood, you know what I mean? So he started to tell me about different capers he would be out there pulling, right? How he following the dope boys home and catching them when they slipping and robbing and all this and that. He robbing the local businesses. And I'm talking about people that he would know. Now, he wouldn't be masked up, so they wouldn't be able to tell who he was. You understand what I'm saying? So that they could identify him and tell the police, right? But these local businesses, nah, man, look here, dude, a mask up. You know what I'm saying? Rob them. And then later on be right back and spending money in the establishment, whether it be a clothing store, one of the little corner stores and stuff like that. Yeah. Then even one of the little local car lots, man. He would steal some of the cars off the lot, all these other types of things. He'd go through there like he's going to buy a car. Test drive. You know what I'm saying? They let him test drive it, right? He go make a mold of the key. And then take the car back. You feel me? Go get the key made, right? Because he had some, brothers from out of town, so he could, he go to them and then they get him a key made. Then he go back later on and steal the car. And then he be all up in these folks' face like he ain't done nothing. So now, they got somebody terrorizing the neighborhood. They know it's got to be somebody that's local. Got to be. Because he knows when to do it, how to do it, and where to do it. You understand? So he's telling me, excuse me, y'all. He's telling me about all of these things that he had going on in the neighborhood and how, excuse me, they had put out a nice reward for whoever that they could get and prosecute for this, right? $5,000 reward. I'm talking about whoever they are terrorizing the neighborhood. And they had connected them to all the robberies that's going on around there and all the little stick-ups that's going on around there, right? He pulling the pistols on the dope boys. He going up in people's houses. And then when it come to the robbing, he massing up. He doing all kinds of stuff, right? They want him off the streets. So they issue a reward for him, right? But nobody knows it's him. Nobody knows it's him. And his mom and his dad, they getting high. They on that dope bad. You know what I'm saying? They caught up in the thing of addiction, you know what I mean? And it's a bad thing, right? And he's staying with them. Because he knows by staying with them, they ain't nobody they're not going to hold him responsible. They're not keeping up with his comings and goings. And keep in mind, he's out of high school, but he's still young. And he's been raised, by them up to that point. But, his auntie's been in his life at this point. But he mainly staying with his parents because he knows that he can do anything that he wants to do. No boundaries, no structure, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? From the age of 10 on up, he's like, that's when they got on their dope. And that's when he started to see them in a different way. Lost all kinds of respect for him. saw his mom having sex with other men, performing on sex on other men so that they could have dope. And his daddy, her husband, is the one that put her up to it. So he had lost all respect for both of them. His daddy for doing his mama like that and his mama for going along with it. But he's not understanding the grips that an addiction will have on you. All he's seeing is his mama getting tossed up by other men, running in and out of the room. And she's in there oohing and ahhing as if she enjoys it. You understand what I'm saying? But he don't understand. She's not enjoying that. He don't understand that. He don't understand why he's seeing his daddy sitting out on the outside of the room at the table or sitting in the kitchen drinking a beer, sipping on a beer while he out in there high, not concerned that his wife is in there getting tossed up. He don't understand none of that. So he grew to hate him. But in the midst of him growing to hate them, he was able to rip and run like a wild animal, do anything he wanted to do. Do anything that he wanted to do. So a lot of them dope boys that were coming over there flip-flopping his mama, he robbed them, follow them home and rob them, getting that bread, getting that money. And what he discovered about himself is that he liked it. It felt good to him. You know what I'm saying? On many different levels. On the one level, it felt good to make somebody that had offended him, offended the house that he was in, suffer. Oh yeah, he put that pistol on me, smack him upside the head, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. And they be crying and all this and that. He make them get naked, strip, get naked. Where the money at? Embarrassing them. You know what I'm saying? Embarrassing them. Making them piss on themselves. All that old kind of stuff. Yeah, all of that. And he enjoyed it. He was a terror. Him witnessing all the things that were going on in his household turned him into a monster. Because the people that he loved were being victimized. But in the process of him seeing them being victimized and used and dogged out, because that's what the streets do, y'all. I'm telling you now, ain't no love in the streets. But in the process of all of that, he started to hate them too. Now see, that's what this stuff will do to you. It'll make you hate the people that you love. And love the people that are doing the things, or not to say love them, but you become more in tune with the people in the streets that are doing the things that cause all the problems in the neighborhoods. And that's how he became a stick-up kid. So when he's telling me these stories, I'm telling y'all, look here, he gets excited. He gets excited about telling these stories, right? So I wanted to get to the part about, why you keep talking to him like that, though. If you understand it, because I said, they were addicted, right? He was like, yeah, they was on that dope, this, and that. I said, you know how hard that is for people to get off that dope and how people that's on that dope do anything for that dope? He was like, yeah. I said, that was your mom and your pops. I said, how are they doing now? And he was like, they say they ain't getting high no more, but I don't believe them. I said, what's your auntie say? My auntie tell me I should call him and talk to him and this, and that. He said, but I ain't going to be able to do it, man. I ain't going to be able to do it. I ain't going to call him. I don't want to rap with him and talk to him like that. You know what I'm saying? If I call him, I'm shooting off on him. I'm letting him know how I feel. I said, dang. I said, man, you say you got a sister, right? He was like, yeah. I said, so you going to continue to disrespect your mama and your sister know about it? I said, do you know what kind of message you communicating to that woman? Because your sister is a young girl that's going to become a woman one day. Do you want somebody talking to her like that? Because if you can't respect your mama, I understand what your mama did, bro. I understand what she did, but if you can't come to understand and respect your mama and understand that your mama and your daddy were acting out of an addiction, then you sending the wrong message to your sister. He said, Joe T, it's something else you don't get, man. It's something else you don't understand. I said, what is it? What else is it? There ain't nothing else to this story. There ain't nothing else it could be. He said, man, I told you, man, they had that reward out for me, right? I'm like, yeah, you told me all about that. You know what I'm saying? They put a reward out for you would tear around the neighborhood. They got to get you off the streets. You dangerous. You a menace, man. You had to go. And I'm saying it to them. We kicking it and laughing and all this and that, right? Because I want them to stay loose. I don't want them to get tense on me. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, my mom and dad are the one that called in for the reward, man. They don't think I know about it. I said, how do you know that? That's confidential. They're not finna tell you that. They're not going to tell you that. You know what I'm saying? He said, man, look here. Before I play it out, I was going to trial, man. I was going to go to trial. I said, and? That don't mean nothing. He said, well, you know, they turn over the witness list. My mom and dad on the witness list. I said, okay. I said, did it say on that witness list that your mama and daddy were the people that called in and got the reward that led them to arresting you at the house? He was like, no, it didn't say that. It didn't say that. I said, so why do you say that they're the witnesses against you? He said, man, they had a statement in there, and I'm reading the statement, all this and that, and it sounds like it was them. It sounds like it was them. I said, what's your lawyer say? My lawyer agrees. My lawyer said he done seen this 1,000 times. So this is what happened. You at the house, right? He was like, yeah, I was at the house. And all of a sudden, there was a knock at the door. See, now while I was at the house, my mom and dad, they start to see, you know what I'm saying, that I'm having this money. I got all these things going on and all that. But they hearing about all these things in the neighborhood. So every now and then, I'd give my mom and daddy some money to get some food or whatever the case may be. Even though they were going out and spending it on that dough, I'd still give them money. I was trying. I just didn't know how to do it in the right way. I didn't know how to do it in the right way. I said, but you still ain't answering the question. How did your mom and daddy know you was the one that's robbing them dope boys and robbing the dealerships and the convenience stores? And how did your mom and daddy know that? Man, I had a lot of stuff down in the basement, man, where I was staying at that I was keeping from these capers. I said, so you like trophies? He was like, yeah, I like trophies, man. I like trophies. I like to keep something to remind me of all these different things, right? I had some pictures of different things and all this and that. I said, so you like trophies? I said, you got a problem. You got a problem. So when your mom and daddy saw this, you say they told it. He was like, yeah, they had to. I said, did you ever tell your mom and daddy that it was you? Like, no. But I knew they was down in my room when I wasn't there, looking for money, looking for dope. And so I know they had to see all this stuff down there. And they put 2 and 2 together, man. They street people too. They put 2 and 2 together on me, and they called them folks. I said, look here. Even if they did, you need to move past that, because I'm going to tell you something my grandmama told me. If you wouldn't have been out there to do it, it wouldn't have been nobody to tell on you. And they say a lot of people that's committing crime don't want to hear that part. They don't want to hear that part. They want you to make sure that you are in agreement with them by not saying anything. Silence is consent. If silence is consent when it comes to people that don't speak out against the atrocities that happen to black and brown people in the neighborhoods, in the communities, when we're talking about white people won't do this and white people don't, if we say silence is consent in those matters, then silence is consent when it comes to these issues in the streets. Come on, y'all. Come on now. Come on. Talk to me, man. Let's keep this 100 all the way around the board, because that's why we can't get none done, because we're not being consistent. We're not being consistent in what we don't like. You feel what I'm saying? So when he listening to me talking, right, he looking at me, he said, man, you tripping. So your mom and dad ain't supposed to tell on you. I said, a part of me agrees with you on that, man. I really do. I really do. But what if they are trying to help you? He said, man, my mom and dad weren't trying to help me. My mom and dad, excuse me, y'all. My mom and dad were trying to get high. I said, yeah. But if you wouldn't have done it, they wouldn't have had nothing to tell on, bro. I said, so do you accept responsibility for what you did? He's like, yeah, I'm in the penitentiary. I got to accept responsibility. I said, nah. I said, being in the penitentiary is not accepting responsibility for what you did. Being in the penitentiary is separating you from society because of what you did. Accepting responsibility for what you did is changing your behavior. Come on now. And again, he looked at me and said, Joe T, you be tripping, man. You be tripping. I don't know what you be on. You know what I'm saying? I just looked at him because I knew he didn't understand. He wasn't ready for that. That was too much for him. He wasn't ready, you know. So I just looked at him. Kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep the conversation moving. I said, man, call your people, man. Ask your mom and your daddy, did they do that? Ask them. But you need to respect them, man. They gave you life. They gave you life. And he said, yeah, they gave me life and they fucked my life up too. I said, well, you had a hand in it. You most definitely had a hand in it. Because I didn't think, I ain't never seen a parent when the child is born, they take him and drop him off at the steps at the penitentiary and said, y'all need to take him into the penitentiary. No. You was throwing rocks at the penitentiary. Well, I ain't had no good examples. I said, you sound to me like everybody else using excuse after excuse after excuse. I'm not saying your mom and daddy were parents of the year. They were fucked up. But they want that dope. They want that dope, man. And you need to see that. Talk to your auntie about it, man. And get to that point to where you can forgive them. Because until you forgive them, you ain't going to be able to move beyond it. Trust me on that, man. Trust me on that. And then he looked at me and all this and that. He's saying what he's saying and all kinds of stuff, right? And I looked at him back and I said, look here, bro. I understand why you mad now. I still don't agree with what you're saying. Not to your mom and your daddy, man. And one day they're not going to be here. And you're going to want to say a whole lot of things, man, that you're not going to be able to say. So you better get yourself straight. You better get yourself straight while you're still young. You're going to get up out of here. You're going to get up out of here. Y'all remember that out there, man. Remember that out there. The people in your life right now, one day they're not going to be here. They're not going to be around you in a way that you want them to be, or they're going to be dead and gone. And there's some things that you're going to be wanting to say to them that you can't say to them. There's things that you're going to want them to have seen and shared in when it comes to your success that they're not going to be able to do. So you need to honor them while they are here right now. Honor them. If they've done some things to hurt you in your life, please, please be the bigger person and find a way to forgive them and love on them. Please. It's been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all. I've been trying to breathe underwater.